dollars in recent years, including $100,000 to Hobbs's inaugural fund. In return, Hobbs is accused of approving a nearly 60% increase in the daily rate sunshine charges for foster care, while other providers were denied increases.
Republican State Senator T.J. Schott requested the investigation, prompting Attorney General Mays to take action.
The governor's office is calling the investigation a partisan attack.
Nationally.
The Supreme Court's 2024 term is wrapping up, and some big decisions are on the horizon. NTD's Daniel Monahan breaks down some key issues like abortion access, gun rights, and presidential immunity that could be ruled upon in the near future.
First, in FDA versus Alliance for Hippocratic Medicine, the court will decide on the fate of mifepristone, a drug used in chemical abortions. A group of doctors are challenging the FDA's approvals that expanded access to this drug. The expansion eliminated the in-person doctor's visit requirement and allowed pharmacies to dispense the drug, including by mail. Next, in Moody versus NetChoice and NetChoice versus Paxton, two state laws regulating social media are under scrutiny. Florida's law fines companies for banning political candidates, while Texas's allows lawsuits against platforms for removing political content. Tech companies argue these laws violate their First Amendment rights. In United States versus Rahimi, the court will address whether individuals under domestic violence prevention orders can own guns. Another major case, Loper Bright Enterprises versus Raimondo, might challenge the principle of Chevron deference. This principle allows federal agencies to interpret ambiguous laws. Fishermen are suing over a rule requiring them to pay for federal monitors on their boats. Finally, the highly anticipated Donald Trump versus United States decision will determine if a president can be prosecuted for actions taken while in office. This case stems from Trump's alleged interference in the 2020 election. Decisions in all 5 cases should come by the end of June. Daniel Monahan, NTD News.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says the Biden administration is prepared to defend its new border policy in court. Mayorkas said the administration is ready for a challenge from the American Civil Liberties Union, or ACLU.
Mayorkas said he respectfully
ACLU
disagrees
sticking
with
their
the
nose
ACLU,
where it don't
which called the new
belong.
policy illegal. It announced plans to sue Sunday.
Mayorkas said initial indications showed the new policy was deterring some illegal immigration.
The new policy bars illegal immigrants from applying for asylum if the number of daily crossings along the southern border exceeds 2,500.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott said he thinks the policy is backfiring and will invite even more people to cross the border illegally. The number of illegal crossings at the southern border is reportedly going down. That's as President Biden's new executive order is taking effect.
A U.S. border official told Reuters that Friday saw a drop in people trying to enter the country illegally. According to him, Border Patrol arrested around 3,100 people crossing illegally that day.
NTD can't independently verify the number, but if accurate, that's down roughly 20% from the days before, but it's still above the 2,500 limit set by the executive order.
The new policy aims to maximize the number of immigrants placed in expedited removal, which is a fast-track deportation process.
Since Wednesday, more than 2,000 people per day were put in expedited removal. That's more than double the previous rate.
And to find out how people are reacting to Biden's executive order on the U.S. border, I asked people in Midtown Manhattan for their thoughts. And while immigration is polling high nationwide as a top election issue, most of the people I spoke with said it wouldn't affect their vote in November. Check it out.
His order was it's a temporary measure. And I think if both sides get together, Republicans and Democrats, eventually they will reach a better way.
It needs to be controlled, but it has to be in a responsible way. So we need to have a structured system to receive people here, because I think they come in here for a reason.
Just thinking logistics and, as far as like ebb and flow, I think that people should be able to come into the country, but I think it should be at whether it's moderate or whatever the rate is, there should be a controlled flow for sure.
I mean, I think it's important that there is a
Already got
process and that
13
there
million
is,
in the country.
resources to support people when they come. And so, I think that there's a lot of agencies that are being overwhelmed, and I think that if we can put a little stopgap, I think that makes sense.
It's part of the American sort of history of immigrants coming over and sort of seeking a better life, the land of opportunity. So you can't really blame them for wanting to come over.
He allowed for certain people to come over. He allowed for people to have hotel stays and everything. And he seen that it was a good project and it didn't work at the same time. So there's certain tweaks he has to make it better. I know that these people have good intentions that's running for the country. Donald Trump, Joe Biden, whoever wins, may they have a good future.
I don't know what to say because I'm just kind of like have mixed feelings about it. But I do pray that whatever goes on and whatever route he decides to go down, that is better than what is going on now.
Still to come, more sweltering heat this week for Arizona and Nevada. Weather forecast.
Authorities also recovering approximately 10 shell casings at the scene. Police now going through apartment and public cameras trying to piece together what happened and find possible suspects. Turning overseas to a lucky escape. An Austrian Airlines plane with 173 passengers on board landed safely in Vienna after hitting a thunderstorm cell on Sunday. The airline says a Mayday emergency call was made during the flight from Spain. The crew says the storm was not visible on weather radar. The plane's nose ended up damaged from hail. The top of the cockpit was also bent and glass in the windows of the cockpit cracked. The plane is now being checked for specific damage assessment. Moving to Oregon, 3 people facing injuries after a rodeo bull hops a fence in an arena, running through a concession area into a parking lot before being wrangled. Take a look at this. Video shows the crowd enjoying the night's festivities as the bull runs around the arena before hopping the fence. Rodeo livestock professionals securing the bull next to livestock holding pens and placing it back in a pen. The Sisters Rodeo Association issuing a statement on Sunday, saying 3 people were injured as a direct result of the bull, and 2 of whom were transported to a local hospital. Coming up, weather tracking the latest updates, plus sports giving you the greatest game highlights. We have all that and more.
Business as usual. We've got the details just ahead.
To download the Fox Local app, search Fox Local to stream live news and weather.
Illegally crossing the southern border, coming from countries like Egypt, China, Turkey, and Mauritania. Fox's Matt Finn has more.
Good afternoon. Last week, President Biden announced a highly anticipated executive order aimed at stopping the flow of illegal migrants. But since then, it's been business as usual here at the southern border. All weekend long, Fox cameras captured images like this, thousands crossing into the San Diego sector. Some of those migrants even praised President Biden for his border policies. Border Patrol has not yet released any official numbers, but non-government groups say they haven't seen any significant changes so far.
There are migrants that are coming. Border Patrol is telling them to wait in certain locations. They wait for a few hours, and then they get picked up and will be taken for processing.
Now a new internal Border Patrol memo is adding to the controversy. Agents in the San Diego sector are being told to release single adults from all but 6 countries in the Eastern Hemisphere. The White House defending the program, saying implementation is still at a very early stage.
Our intent is to really change the risk calculus of individuals before they leave their countries of origin. It's early. The signs are positive.
And this issue still a top priority for many voters as the election season ramps up.
I don't expect that capping migration numbers is going to really have a meaningful positive impact.
Seal our border, make sure that illegals they can't vote. Biden's executive order will remain in place until the daily average of migrant encounters hits 1,500. The latest numbers Fox News has obtained shows we're sitting at about 3,900. In Hukuma, California, Matt Finn, Fox News.
A group of Republican congressmen toured the USPS facility in Palmetto today amid months of delivery delays. I'm Kim Loeffler. I'll have more on their visit coming up.
And we've got some clouds and showers out there right now, but by later on this afternoon, lots of sunshine will be coming our way. I'll tell you all about that. Have the forecast coming up.
The election